The Vampire Stream. The Vampire Stream. Oh my gosh. The Vampire Stream. Who wears pajamas? I don't wear pajamas. Eddie Hearn said y'all be in Transformer pajamas. Daywalker. The Vampire Stream. Daryl said Eddie Hearn. Listen, let's just jump right into it. This is the Vampire Stream. Charlo beats Canelo and makes Triple G a paraplegic. See, Triple G just be like, oh, as punches, it's tick, tick, tick. That's because you fighting Steve Rolls. Like, nobody told you to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's other big punchers out there. You just haven't, you have to fight him. Like Caleb Smith. Do you think Triple G, if he moved up to 68, would be like Caleb Smith? If he lands, do you think Triple G would be like, his punches tick, tick, tick? You know what I'm saying? You felt nothing? Probably not, because it looks like Caleb Smith can crack. 6'5". He said, I feel no pain. Okay, fight Charlo or Andre. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, of course you feel no pain. You find someone that's inexperienced that shouldn't have been in there with you. The Vampire Stream. Man, I'm just thinking. I keep thinking. It don't seem like this subject is going to change anytime soon. But Bob Arum just did an interview with the Telegraph, and he's like, Eddie Hearn don't understand. He's tripping. Bob Arum's been in the business since like the 60s and shit. And he says he had a fighter. They were saying he was the next Sugar Ray and Don Curry. And he was supposed to be that dude and lost and was never the same. See, everybody's saying the same shit except for Edward Hearns. Eddie Hearns. Listen, just so you know, if they do the rematch and Joshua loses again, that's going to make Eddie Hearns look horrible, bro. That's going to make Matchroom, Rematch Room, Slave Room, whatever you would like to call it, look horrible. They putting pressure not only on the fighter, but they're putting pressure on the brand. Because if he loses, especially if it's like worse, then people are going to be like, man, Zab Judah is getting, he's in the hospital. They say he's going to get out. He's doing better. But this shit is no joke. And this man was clearly concussed. I was watching. I don't know why I didn't see all of them, but I watched like more of an extended, mic'd up corner. Joshua was in bad shape, yo. He was like, I heard him say certain ones, like, what did he hit me with? But he kept talking to his corner. He sounded like a little kid. Like asking little kids when you go into the garage, your daddy have the hood of the car open, and he keep asking questions. Like, what's that tool? What is that? What is that? That's what Joshua was doing. You know what I'm saying? Keep asking what he said. What is he gonna do this round or something like? What's he gonna hit me with? What? And Eddie Hearn putting him right back in there. DAZN cannot afford any more major L's with their fighters. Dillian White got to beat Rivas, and Maurice Hooker's gonna have to beat Jose Ramirez. Those are two good fights. We'll see how it plays out. But mark my words, if they don't favor Rematch Room, that's going to be horrible. And then I seen that they have a interview with Katie Taylor. She said, "I don't care what no one says. I'm undisputed." That sound like you lost. Just to say some shit like that. I don't care who said, like it or not, I'm undisputed. That sound like something like you lost. But Bob Arum saying it's silly to put Joshua back in there because this could be like basically career suicide if he, if you just you're supposed to build your man. You just let him go in there, feed him to the wolves, and hope he gets out. That's insane. Hold on 1 second, yo. The Vampire Stream. Oh, man, my allergies been going crazy. Look, Telegraph. Joshua will never be the same again. That's what Bob Arum thinks. If Joshua was able to survive Klitschko, who can punch and knock him out, how the hell does Ruiz beat him? That sounds like sour grapes from Bob Arum, though. Listen, you guys have to just break down boxing. Boxing is about styles. Styles make fights. Nobody is perfect. So some guys just have your number because the way they fight mixed with the way you fight ain't going to add up to success for you. Unless you're the master at making adjustments. That's it. Some guys have trouble with punchers. Some guys have trouble with southpaws. Some guys with a good jab, fighters don't know how to get around it. Some people are great body punchers, but if you go to their body, they're susceptible. Styles make fights. So I disagree 100% with what Arum's saying. He's saying Joshua survived Klitschko, who has power. So how the fuck did he lose to Andy Ruiz? That sounds like sour grapes because Andy Ruiz is getting all this limelight. And it used to be a top ranked fighter and he's no longer. And he just became a unified champion overnight and grew his brand overnight. But the thing is, Klitschko had Joshua on the hook and he let him off. Klitschko's been knocked out before. His style is not aggressive, unless he's more calculated. He's going to take his time, and Joshua had already hurt him, so he knew Joshua was big, young, strong. Joshua looks the part, and no one else had previously knocked Joshua down. So he didn't want to take, unnecessary risk, and then ultimately what happened in the fight anyway, get knocked out. So that's why. Andy Ruiz was hurt, and he decided to go out swinging. Bro, it's going to be extremely hard for Joshua to come back. Extremely hard because this was the type of fight that it already showed you everything you needed to know about Joshua. There's even if somehow he beats Andy Ruiz, there's nothing anyone can do to erase this tape. The aura of invincibility is gone. You get what I'm saying? Tyson Fury just did an interview, and he said Joshua showed signs of mental weakness. Basically, he started to fold mentally, and it's like, damn. He said, okay, I can understand you getting hurt or getting dropped, but he looked like he was ready to pack it in. I'm telling you. I don't know if we'll see the same Joshua. I really don't. I don't know if we'll see the same Joshua. And then here's the other thing. Like Bob Arum's telling you, like I'm telling you. Even if we were to see the same Joshua, Eddie Hearn lost all of his bargaining chips. And one night he overplayed his hand. And then he lost. And now he's taking out more money out the ATM. He's draining his bank account. and trying to bet it all on one, on one thing. That's like taking all the money out of your bank account and betting it on the Super Bowl winner. You know, you think that the Patriots or some shit are gonna win, so you bet everything on them. Or bet on one play or something. It's too big of a gamble because Joshua can learn from this. He can learn from this and get better. But you're like, fuck that. We need them belts back. We need that because in Eddie Hearn's mind, Matchroom is hurt without them belts. And the biggest thing that I see, this is Team Joshua. This is why I can't feel really any remorse, because this is how they played the game. They made it about the belts. They started acting prim and proper and nose in the air, chin up, nose in the air type of pompous attitude. They did that. Oh, why should I travel to America? Give me 50 million. Oh, here's 50 mil. No. What do you mean no? Why should I sell my soul? It's the devil in the details, right? They created this type of snooty, prudish attitude, and they made Joshua's whole image has been excuse me, my allergies bugging. Joshua's whole image has been built on, he's the best heavyweight. He's the pristine, likable, noble, in shape. He's the high. He's the BMW first. He's the BMW of heavyweights, right? So when you market yourself as like almost like flawless or top shelf, the highest class, and then like I'm trying to think of let's say people say iPhone is the highest standard of phone, just randomly, right? And then they come out with the S17, and it's supposed to be the highest class phone and the best camera, and then the phones are overheating, and then the phones are like not allowed on airplanes because they have a potential to blow up and shit like that. So that's not a good look for your brand. You just said this was the best phone on the market, the best phone you can get, and then people who have those phones can't even travel with them on the plane because there's a recall. You get what I'm saying? So it's gonna hurt your image because you sold it as such. You sold it as this is as good as it gets. Likable, humble, diligent worker, workhorse, impeccable skills. Like, I always told people that Wilder would beat AJ, in my opinion. Styles make fights. And they're like, no, Joshua's skills, he just has too much skills. They really I'm not saying Joshua's bad, but they overstated, so I guess you could say overrated his skill. Because look at it like this. If he was such a fundamentally sound masterclass boxer that wasn't really still learning, then why would he allow himself to draw first blood and then he's getting caught with some silly shit? Because he was still learning. That's why. When have you ever seen Floyd Mayweather going for the kill and then get dropped twice? When? See, they're trying their best to market these guys. Like Tyson Fury is a good boxer. AJ's a good boxer. They both got dropped. Tyson Fury is in the middle of being outboxing Wilder. You get dropped. And then in the 12th round, you get dropped even harder. So you're a good boxer, yes, but I can't say it's a master class, because when do you see a master class boxer doing what they want and then all of a sudden they're getting dropped and shit? Like Tyson Fury, like Joshua. And I understand it's the heavyweight division, but how come this is not happening to Terrence Crawford? Terrence Crawford, when he fought Jose Benavidez, how come when he had him hurt, he didn't in turn in the 12th round get knocked down? When he had Jeff Horn hurt, his first fight at welterweight, moved up 7 pounds, he had Jeff Horn hurt. How come he got the stoppage? Because he's fast and he's smart. People don't give him credit for shit like that. Joshua made a rookie mistake. He just like going guns blazing because listen, Joshua, it's so funny to see how this is all coming into the forefront. Look at it like this. Remember what I always told you. They were flashing the belts like, oh, he has 4 belts. The thing that I've always said about this is I know how you got each and every belt. And if you really do the actual timeline, like I've done in my live streams several times, the way Joshua got all those belts, it's really not that impressive. It's not. And I've done this. And I'm not saying this with any malice, any hate. I've been right this whole time. So I have no reason to be mad or kick a man while he's down or whatever. I'm just being real with you. I've went over this. And this is the thing is you fuck with the channel. I say the same thing that I'm saying to you now. Like, it's not like I'm switching up. I've said the same thing on my channel. Go one by one and look at who he fought to get each belt. And not only who he fought, the terms in which he fought them. It's not that impressive. I've always said this to you guys. What is the best belt win that he has? Klitschko. Right? Does anyone disagree with that? We'll start there. Name a fight where Joshua got a belt and it was more impressive than the Klitschko fight. Joshua not that good. He's too worried about doing British Airway adverts and Lynx adverts and other stupid adverts instead of training. The man thinks he's Floyd. Told you. Name a win that Joshua has where he earned a belt that was more impressive than the Klitschko fight. Can you guys hear me? Should I even be on here? Like, you guys aren't. No, I'm not seeing nobody. Name a win that you think is better than the Klitschko fight, that he earned a belt in that fight. Okay, can someone answer the question? All right, James says none. Does anybody disagree? 0. Okay, great. So, sounds like we're pretty much in agreement that the Klitschko fight is his best win where he earned a belt. So, you look at it, Klitschko was 41 years old, coming off of a horrible performance with Tyson Fury and an 18-month layoff. And then that fight was even competitive. It wasn't like this blowout, like he just ran down on Klitschko. He fought a 41-year-old off of an 18-month layoff because Klitschko had been waiting for Tyson Fury, who, ended up messing up and ultimately failing the drug test. And he was coming off of a terrible performance. That's literally Joshua's best win. But you guys fell in love with the man's in shape. You fell in love with 90,000 at Wembley. You fell in love with the fast-talking Eddie speeches and stuff like that. That's the reality of the situation. I've always said the same thing. So it's not like I'm just trying to act brand new. His best win was Okay, so now name an impressive win from Floyd Mayweather. Name an impressive win from Floyd Mayweather. Name an impressive Floyd Mayweather win. Ricky Hatton, Canelo, Pacquiao. There was belts on the line for all those fights. Oscar win, belt on the line for that fight, and it was at 54, and he didn't get knocked down twice. That's what I'm saying. See, I can name, and I know you guys can name several Floyd Mayweather fights where there was a belt on the line, or the guy was more proven, more in prime, and had it not been Floyd, the other guy would have won. The night Oscar De La Hoya lost to Floyd, if Oscar De La Hoya fought, a lesser fighter, Ricardo Mayorga or somebody, he would have beat him. If he fought Paulie Malignaggi, whoever, he would have beat him. Shane Mosley that blasted Floyd in the second round, if he connected with somebody else at 47, probably would have been a different fight. Joshua's best win, and all those are more competitive fights where Floyd might even be older than a lot of those guys. Joshua's best win was a hard-fought fight against a 41-year-old Klitschko, period. And I've told you this, but you guys you said I was lying and all this shit. So to me, they knew this. This is why the Deontay Wilder fight didn't happen. I'm convinced, because the fights that would have really showed us about Joshua, none of them were happening. You notice that? That's why I'm saying you guys play dumb. I don't play dumb. The fights that would have really showed us who Joshua is, none of them happened. Wilder, Fury, Luis Ortiz. Those are the three fights that would have showed us that Joshua is the real deal. Full camp for both fighters. That would have really showed. That would have really showed that Joshua is like, okay, he knocked out Wilder, he knocked out Tyson Fury, or because he knocked out Luis Ortiz. That would have really showed us something. And conveniently, those are the fights that he didn't fight. They knew this. They knew that what they were dealing with, but they kept telling the public, that he was it. See, I think this is the thing. They know the fighter better. They regardless of if they tell you what's really happening behind the scenes, they know what's going on behind the scenes. So if Joshua is getting dropped by these people, David Price and Joey Dueco and stuff, they know it. So I think they were trying to stall people out to have Joshua continue gaining experience and grow. They know how his mind works and how he's learned, because just listen to how they talked. Joshua constantly talked about having a game plan, shit that other fighters don't do. Teofimo is younger than Joshua, and he's not talking about a 10-year plan. He's not talking about, oh yeah, when I get older, or, in 5 years from now, I'll be here, and Tyson Fury or Wilder will be here. Devin Haney's not talking like that. Teofimo's not talking like that. None of these guys are talking like that. Joshua was talking like that. So to me, I always knew he did not have the confidence that was projected, or his team or somebody did not have the confidence that was projected, because what fighter is saying, oh yeah, the fighter in me wants to fight Wilder at Wembley, but the businessman is telling me this. Who does that? When have you heard Teofimo, who's younger than Joshua, say the businessman in me wants to fight Lomachenko, or to wait, but then the fighter in me wants to fight Lomachenko? When have you ever heard that? Anything like that? When have you heard Devin Haney say, he was just on the Breakfast Club, he said he wanted to fight Lomachenko? They're like, I don't know. Charlamagne was like, I don't know. And he some people have him number one pound for pound. And he said, yeah, when I beat him, what is that going to make me? And he's like, all right then. Bro, I'm telling you, boxing is not you got to have confidence. And I think Joshua lacked in that department, and they were trying to get him there. That's what it was. That's why we didn't get the Wilder fight. Like I said, don't believe me? Listen to what he said. What fighter is fighting? Name somebody who's 6'6", fighting a late replacement that looks like they're 6'1", and it looks like they, pudgy, and they're saying, "Oh, I have a guide to beat this person," but what if they hit me with the big shot? When have you ever heard Lennox Lewis talk like that? When have you ever heard Mike Tyson talk like that? I told you guys this stuff. Joshua, his insecurities or his shortcomings, he bled them through the pages and was telling you what he needed and was telling you what the deal is. You guys chose to overlook it because you'd rather hear what Eddie Hearn's saying. And then there were times where Joshua did exude confidence. But this is what I'm telling you guys. True confidence is not going to waver. If you are really confident in what you do, it's not going to be like Saturday I told you my YouTube channel is popping, and then Monday, no matter how I'm feeling, if I woke up in a bad mood, I'm not going to tell you my YouTube channel is trash. That doesn't make sense. But Joshua would go back and forth. 1 minute he'll say, do these things that show a lack of confidence, but then he would get pressured, and then it's like he was trying to make up for it. It's always that. If you have true confidence, it's just going to stick. Floyd Mayweather has a quote, and he said, "I don't ever talk about losing. I don't think I'm going to lose." He said, "The moment you put that in your head, you're bound to lose." Something to that effect. Floyd Mayweather got another quote where he was like, "I like pressure." He's like, "I deal well with pressure. Put more pressure on me." Joshua don't talk like that. Wilder is intimidating the way he acts. Exactly. Shout out to James. Wilder's intimidating. A guy who's an inch taller. We know he's wild, crazy power. Hood dude, country dude. He don't care. He's going to go out swinging type dude. Joshua didn't want that energy. It's very easy. I keep telling you, he didn't want that energy. Like, I'm not even talking about just the fight. I'm talking about the press conference. What person banned? I've said this when it was happening. Why would he get? Wilder says, "I'm coming to your fight. You want to fight me? I want to fight you. Let's make it a public issue, and get the ball rolling. Give the fans something." Joshua, prim and proper, charm school. "Oh yeah, it's my fight. Why would you get in the ring after my fight? It's my ring." Trying to do everything proper and by the book. Boxing don't work like that. That's what showed me who Joshua is, because he was trying to do everything by the book. Mayweather beat Juan Manuel Marquez. Guess who was in the ring requesting a fight? Shane Mosley. And then Floyd just had to deal with it. He was annoyed that Mosley was like interrupting his moment, but he just had to deal with. He's like, all right, Shane. Don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect me, Shane. And he's like, "Oh, I ain't trying to disrespect you. I just want to fight. Let's give the people what we want." And Shane Mosley completely jumped in the middle of his mix. Sean Porter did it to Danny Garcia after he knocked out Brandon Rios in Vegas. Joshua let Klitschko in the ring after he knocked out Eric Molina, right? And then Wilder told you he was going to get in the ring if you were to defeat Joseph Parker and challenge you to a fight. And they're like, "No, you won't." And then the best example, the best that they could come up with was, "Oh, that's because we had a signed contract." Who cares? And Josh, bro, I'm telling you, Joshua's whole entire career, in the last 2 years, has been this back and forth. I could break this shit down. That's why I'm actually happy for Andy Ruiz. I like good underdog stories, and I'm happy to just be done with the games. Now people see what it is. This shit it's annoying because it ushered in all these fans that don't know what the fuck they're talking about and play dumb. Now they have no choice but to face the music. Okay, so let's run this back. Smash the like button. I'm going to say something, and if you remember this, just say me. The more people say me, M-E, then I'll know I could keep going because enough people remember it. Who remembers Deontay Wilder saying, "I'm going to get into the ring. I'll be in the UK for the Joseph Parker unification with Joshua, And I want to challenge him to fight after if he beats Joseph Parker. Who remembers that? All you got to do is type me. Okay, great. Just follow along. We have enough people that remember. Great. Who remembers Anthony Joshua saying, no, you can't get in the ring. I don't deal with fake hype. We don't have a signed contract, etc., etc. Don't get in my ring. Did you guys hear Joshua respond to Wilder saying he was going to get in? Okay, me. So he then came up with an excuse after Wilder said he was going to approach you and step to you, get in your ring, and everybody heard that, and everyone heard your response, right? You said, I don't do fake hype. People said, why did Klitschko get in the ring after you knocked out Eric Molina? Oh, that's because we had a signed contract. Oh, okay. I don't do fake hype, and I don't do it if there's not a signed contract, right? I'm not into like that WWE shit. Okay, fine. If that's your true standpoint, which is still a weak point, then explain last December when Dillian White knocked out domestic rival Derek Chisora, December 2018, and Joshua tried to get in the ring, and they just said, oh, just stay right there. And he had a mic at the turnbuckle, and he was like, yeah, how many of y'all want to see me fight Dylan next? And then him and Dillian White were going back and forth. There was obviously no signed contract there because it was announced that you were going to fight Gerald Miller when you announced your opponent. So once again, Eddie Hearns and Team Joshua are caught in another inconsistent lie. Wilder tried to get in the ring. You said no. You said no, you can't. You said no, you can't get in the ring. People said, why? You tripping. Oh, I don't deal with fake hype. So people started thinking. They said, what about Klitschko? He got in the ring after your fight. He did like Ice Cube on Friday. Man, what about time he tried to choke me in smoke backyard? Oh, now that was different. Joshua did like Red and Friday. He said, oh, that was different. Me and Klitschko had a signed contract. That's why we did it. Okay, so using that's your alleged terms. Then why did you go to Dillian White Chisora and then confront Dillian White, which is all on TV, box office, Sky Sports, and then you're at the turnbuckle. Who wants to see me fight Dylan? And he's like, oh, I don't want to hear you guys complain if I fight Dylan, because he knew there was pressure. So this is Joshua's team. They are all over the place. You said you need a signed contract. Fine, whatever. But you didn't have a signed contract with Dillian White, right? And you still did the fake WWE shit and didn't even fight him next. And didn't have a you were never scheduled to fight him next. Because when they announced it and they did a press conference, it was Gerald Miller. Right? Then people still kept giving you shit. What about Wilder? What about Wilder? Gerald Miller failed a drug test. You replace him with Andy Ruiz. And then fight week, there's all types of pressure on you. Wilder just looked good in New York 2 weeks before you. First round knockout. And then you keep talking about Deontay Wilder. Bro, they're done. It's toast. The jig is up. So that's two examples that they didn't abide by the rules that they set forth. They said, I don't deal with fake hype. People said, what about Klitschko? Oh, that was different. Klitschko had a signed contract. Okay, last December when Dillian White laid out Derek Chisora, you did the WWE thing and didn't even schedule to fight him next because he priced himself out. Then you had a second opportunity when Miller failed a drug test to fight Dillian White. You guys didn't send him an offer. Then you chose Andy Ruiz. You don't do the fake hype, but then you're on First Take saying, meet with me. Hey, meet with me. Nonstop talking about Deontay Wilder, which is why Deontay Wilder dropped that news. I'm fighting Luis Ortiz. Ha ha. Stop talking about me. bro. So that's it's just what it is. Their team keeps saying inconsistent things. I don't do fake hype, but then you're on First Take calling out Wilder when you got to fight Andy Ruiz. This was doomed from the start. And like I said, the Ruiz fight was the worst possible outcome because the aura is totally shattered. There's like it's almost like it doesn't even matter if he beats Ruiz. It's shattered for guys like Wilder and Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury just did an interview and said it looked like he was mentally gave up. Wilder, we already know he's an animal. So you think he's gonna go, you think he's gonna go lacking confidence? You think he's gonna lack confidence going in with Joshua? Ego is 100% correct here. The constant flip flops is real. It, it's almost laughable because it's so brazen, and then they want you to believe it. Eddie Hearn just keeps saying different shit, and Joshua keeps saying different shit, and it's like, wow, you really want? It's like, me personally, having a formal education, being street smart, it's like a spit in my face when people do that. I don't like when people waste my time, insult my intelligence. Let's just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? And I just it's insulting that they really try to play these games. Give me 50 mil, and then Wilder's team offers you 50 mil. Oh yeah, I don't want 50 mil. I'm not gonna sell my soul. But why'd you ask for it? Oh yeah, that's bullshit. The devil in the detail. I feel like Team Joshua has, with this whole Wilder situation, they've constantly had to play catch up. They're always one step behind or a few steps behind, depending on the point. And it always sounds crazy. It always sounds like real crazy because that's what happens when you're coming from behind. I don't think with the Wilder negotiations shit, I don't think they've ever had the lead. You ever watch a football game or something and it's like the Niners just have the lead throughout? That's how it was. Now you got Eddie Hearn who's willing to sacrifice his fighters' health to try to get the power back. Ringside Reporter Live. I make videos all the time, and I read actual quotes from Eddie Hearn contradicting himself, and yet Joshua fans have cognitive dissonance and can't accept it. Bro, I can't, honestly, to me, it's not even an American versus UK thing. I used to live in the UK. I tell you guys all the time. I used to live in England. I love England. I love the UK. But it's not even a thing. It's just like, are you a real boxing fan? That's how I look at it. I feel like how can if okay, if you said Deontay Wilder was guilty of murder and you honestly believed it, and then I show you with forensic evidence that he didn't commit, I look at the DNA samples and I match it and I show you, put it in an electronic spectrometer, all that forensic file shit, right? And I prove scientifically that there's no way he raped and killed this person because the DNA sample collected doesn't even match his blood type. It doesn't match his, his sample type. And then those are like within 99 million trillion blah 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 percentage accurate. And you still gonna tell me that he did the murder? That's Eddie Hearns and Anthony Joshua. That's their fans. A lot of them. It's like I'm showing you like like scientifically what it is. Like we could play two phones and listen to an A and B sample test, A-B sample test, and they still try to play dumb. So I don't even consider those fans like that. Because it's not about being right or wrong. If you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But if you get proven wrong, then you just got to accept that. That's just being a human. That's just being, in my opinion, being a man or a woman or an adult. You just got to accept it. We're not always right. If I was wrong in this situation, I would just accept it. But these dudes play dumb like they don't know what the fuck's going on. You know it, you know. And the UK media got to step up. They really do. It shouldn't be just Americans who have to bring out these contradictions. So only American ears hear these contradictions from Team Joshua. Like, really? Why is it that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why is it? Why is it just Americans hear it? Great Britain, the UK, they developed the English language, so I know you guys speak it. That's where the English language originates from. So how we all speak the same language, you hear the same shit I hear. It's not like it's Spanish or something. It's different dialects. You guys came up with the English language. Why is it only Americans that are really, up front and bringing these things up? I don't hear it on Sky Sports. I don't hear it on UK YouTube channels. They're always behind. They're always behind. And to be honest, since we're being so true, the UK got pompous. They got arrogant because they had that little hot streak where they had about 13 or 14 active champions at once, and they start thinking they were taking over the globe. That shit is done. That shit ended like a motherfucker, bro. Cause they don't even have that many champions like that. Before they had a bunch of champions. They had like 13, 14. It was like the most that they would even talk about it in telecast. Tyson Fury had a belt, and Carl Frampton, and Terry Flanagan. They was like balling out. Joshua, Kell Brook. There's a lot of guys. Kell Brook been lost. Terry Flanagan got knocked out. Carl Frampton lost bad. It's down to a few guys. Joshua just lost. There, it got dried up. That well dried up. It didn't last that long. Hold on, y'all. But they almost got big headed during that point. It's so hot out here in Cali. Hey, just block Sophie. I'm not arguing with that stupid shit. It's also funny how Hearn had no problem talking about the contract when they were negotiating with Luis Ortiz, but now he is all hush hush with the rematch clause with Ruiz. That's what I'm saying. And see, here's another thing. you bringing up good shit. Here's another thing. How come Hearn be in everybody else's numbers but his own? I repeat, Eddie Hearns will talk about what Broner Pacquiao is going to do pay-per-view wise, what Wilder Fury 1 and 2 is going to do pay-per-view wise, what Pacquiao versus Thurman will do, what Mikey Garcia versus Spence will do. How many tickets Wilder Brazil sold? He lies and said it was 6,000. But we can't get no damn numbers about Joshua versus Ruiz. I still don't know the attendance. I don't think it was ever. I didn't ever see no reporter. I follow Lance Pugmire, Mike Coppinger, all the fellow reporters. I ain't seen nobody. Kevin Iole. I ain't seen nobody with no attendance number. And for damn sure, I ain't seen nobody post no viewership. The only bullshit that they keep telling us is that it's the third best behind Canelo's fights. That don't tell me shit. Hiding the numbers. We know what that means, bro. Because if it was something brag-worthy, then you would brag about it. If Joshua Ruiz did like 1 million or something crazy, then you would talk about that. DAZN, there is no way. I am positive. There is no way they're not in the red. It's impossible. It is fucking possible. Not worldwide or some bullshit in America. I don't know about Japan, Bucharest, and Istanbul and all these other weird, like random places that DAZN has set up shop. Not weird, but just these random places that they're at. Switzerland. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about in the U.S. There is no way. They said Dan Rafael just posted that the listed payout for Golovkin versus Steve fucking Rolls was $2 million. Here, I'll just pull it up. It's easier. ESPN now Dan Raphael. He said purses for a Golovkin Rose card. Golovkin's purse is listed as a laughable $2 million. He's getting closer to $15 million. Steve Rose is getting $300K. Bro, that Triple G shit versus Steve Rose was weak as fuck. He fought Bill Bellamy from MTV, Jerry Rice and shit. You paid him $15 million for that, for a comeback tune-up fight. This is unheard of. Showtime, Fox, HBO. We'll just use Showtime and HBO. HBO was in the boxing business for 45 years. They have other shows like that were popular, True Blood and Boardwalk Empire, The Sopranos, The Wire, or current shows like Ballers, Insecure, and Game of Thrones. And then they have a sports department that, was known for boxing. There is no fucking way that Sergey Kovalev, when he fought Igor Mikhelkin, which is the same level of a fight, got no 15 fucking million, bro. That's an unheard of paycheck for that level of a fight. So I am convinced either they're not paying him like they're saying they're paying him, but I'll take their word for it. And if they are paying him $15 million, then you lost. Because there's no way, it wasn't a sellout at Madison Square Garden. It didn't do the attendance. They even said it on the telecast that Joshua Ruiz did, because Joshua had, allegedly 8,000 to 12,000 people from Britain fly. And they're paying $15 million for Triple G. I'm not hating, get your money, but that just, there's no way you can sustain that, bro. None. That's like me paying, it don't matter how much I'm making on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Let's say I'm rich, hypothetically, right? And I'm paying someone $6,000 to wash my car. That would clearly not work, because a car wash is something that you have to do, periodically. It rains or something. You go to a beach and, sand and shit. You're overpaying for a car wash. If you're paying $6,000 for one car wash, then you're overpaying. It's clear. And they allegedly did it with Canelo Fielding. Canelo Jacobs didn't even bust $1 million, and it's at the price point. And then now they're saying Triple G got $15 million. And man, it's looking pretty ugly. Joshua just lost. I have no interest in Canelo versus Triple G3 at all. They can fight at any point after that, but I want to see Triple G. Hey, Ringside's on your ass, bro. Ringside reporter on your ass. He said if Wilder's last fight had a viewership of 1 million, Canelo's last fight on DAZN did 600K, then that fight was third behind that, then it's clear that Wilder's last fight did much better. Hell yeah. And see, this is the thing. DAZN has shot themselves in the foot, because they'll look like bloody hypocrites if they come out and keep raising the prices. The more they raise the price, the more it brings it in line with the pay-per-view. So if they raise their price again, now we're really just talking about pay-per-view prices. So they kind of trapped themselves, which was really weird, by talking shit about pay-per-view, which is something that eventually, to succeed or to stay around, I would imagine at this rate, they would have to sustain. See, I think this is just my opinion. As far as the boxing venture, I think they had a lot of faith that Eddie Hearn could fast talk a lot of Al Heyman fighters that were free agents and coax them to coming on DAZN. And then when that didn't happen, they were like, oh shit. So they had a budget, and they thought they were going to sprinkle it to, put Broner on here and Errol Spence and Charles. They thought they were going to have a good little stable. But Al Heyman was smart. He's like, why would I give them all my people? So he gave him a few people, Jesse Vargas, Brandon Rios, or something like that. But he didn't give him like the guys that you would probably see on pay-per-view on PBC, like the Keith Thurmans, Pacquiao, Spence, Broner, blah blah blah. So when Eddie Hearn couldn't deliver a lot of the guys in free agency that have the star power, like Mouthpiece, Javante Davis, ability to sell, exciting style, those types of things. Errol Spence, Charlo Brothers, right? Jared Hurd. They got desperate. So they threw Canelo this record-breaking deal. They made some buzz. But I think they overshot it, and they gave him so much money. Canelo's not doing those type of numbers, so I don't blame Canelo for taking the deal because he getting cashed out buying Bugattis. But for DAZN, long term, Canelo's in a situation he either have to cherry pick or he can't lose. Anything else, you're wasting your money. If he loses, then it's gonna hurt his stock. And if you're paying him $36 million and he has to take a tune-up fight because he just lost, then you've overpaid him. It's just like Triple G Steve Rolls. It's insane with like the business, like the structure. Like I understand taking a shot, like trying to innovate, like Netflix innovated on Blockbuster, but this Netflix actually had something cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like the convenience of watching a movie at home and through the mail. I could see that. I can understand people being like saying pay-per-view is dead. I can halfway see the vision, but the execution wasn't going to be that unless you had the roster to compete with pay-per-view. Like DAZN keeps saying pay-per-view is dead, right? And they're like, "Oh, why just get DAZN so you don't have the hassle of pay-per-view?" Like majority of the fights you're putting on DAZN, I would never pay for on pay-per-view because they're not big enough. I mean, like, I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm not even saying this to the fighters, but who the fuck would pay for Ryan Garcia, Jose Lopez coming off a TKO on pay-per-view? Or Devin Haney versus Antonio Moran, or Demetrius Andrade versus some African nigga, Walter Catboy or whatever, Captain Dakwa. Demetrius Andrade versus Artur Akov. Like, I mean, who would really pay pay-per-view for those fights? So you can't really say pay-per-view is dead when you're not even putting on comparable fights that would even be on pay-per-view. The most pay-per-view worthy fight that they put on, like in terms of we knew what to expect, that I could see doing numbers like on HBO or something, it's probably Canelo Jacobs, And that's just the reality of it. So I think they just put a lot of faith into Eddie Hearn that he's going to be able to pull the trigger and get and lure these guys over. Fighting on DAZN for a fighter would be like buying a house, and then when you try and sell it 5 years later, you get the same as when you bought it for. They lock the fighters in with no upside. Facts. The other thing is the DAZN payout scale, from what it seems like, at least to me, is there's no incentive for the fighters to do the right thing like Spike Lee. It doesn't incentivize them. So, for example, Triple G, he just fought Steve Rolls, right? He just fought Steve Rolls. What's his incentive to fight a tough fight with Demetrius Andrade at age 37 if he thinks he's going to get the same pay no matter what? It becomes, like I said in the analogy earlier, hourly versus a salary manager. If you're an hourly manager, then you get paid by the hour. So you work 40 hours a week, then you get paid times 40. Your hourly, if you get, let's say, $12 an hour and you work 40 hours, 12 times 4. You work 45, 12 times 45. You get, some crazy double time, then it's, 12 times 60 hours or, whatever it is. If your salary, it doesn't work like that. You get what you signed up for. So, like I said, it's kind of, the fighters can and see, not even just in taking challenges, but also in promoting the fights. Like if I'm, let's say I'm Broner and I'm about to fight Pacquiao, and I know I'm on pay-per-view, the more shit I talk and the more I hype it up, probably the more the views. If Wilder's fighting Dominic Brazil, no, not Brazil, but Tyson Fury, he knows the better he hypes it up. Tyson Fury knows the better he hypes up, the more money they're going to make in the end because they built up an excitement. If you're not on pay-per-view, on the pay-per-view structure, then you could just go to your training camp. What's the incentive to hype up the fight? That's why if you look at a lot of these DAZN fights, in my opinion, fight week will just be here. And it's like, oh shit, I forgot this fight was this week. You get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't feel like there's this great promotional build. What promotion did Triple G do for the Steve Rolls fight? Name the promotion. I don't know anything about Triple G's camp for this promotion. You know, and they tried to do a little Mark Wahlberg special. I didn't even watch it. You know what I'm saying? There's not really you could just, and I think more guys, unless you're a showman, you would probably just want to get in camp, eat right, and you know it's a tough thing. So you're just like, cool, I don't have to do the promotion. What did Canelo do for Jacobs? For the Jacobs fight? What type of promo was there? he said a 6 minute 42 6 minute 42 second 40 days, bro. That's a week. Plus, it's definitely clear a fighter loses exposure when fighting on DAZN. Canelo was getting over 1 million pay-per-view buys on HBO. Now he got 600K for his last fight. And that's a big problem. That's a big problem. Here's why. It goes to show you, like, we underestimated, like, the power and the pool of the built-in fan base and the promotional style of HBO. Because how is it that he fought Julio Cesar Chavez at a catchweight for, you know, I don't even think he was on good terms with the WBC. So it really wasn't for a belt. I think they made like a little Weicho belt or something, but he wasn't even fucking with the WBC. That fight did over 1 million. So he did over 1 million in a fight where Chavez has discipline issues and people didn't know what to expect. And I get it, okay, 2 Mexican fighters, Cinco de Mayo, but still, he did over 1 million, and he's doing 600K at a cheaper price point. No, I think the WBC made like a specialty belt for that fight. You know, like a commemorative edition, not like because it was at a catchweight, so it couldn't have a belt. But I mean, I'm just saying like a commemorative, you know, Mexico roots belt or some shit. But, you know, Canelo was doing similar type numbers at a higher price point. You know, like the Edeslandi Lara fight, Angulo, Liam Smith, and Amir Khan, those all did 325,000 to 600, somewhere in there, you know, depending on which one. So he was doing that, and that was at his regular price point fights. The Cotto fight did 900 and change. You know? So this whole pay-per-view is dead sounds ridiculous. Pay-per-view is dead, but it's still here. And in the other ring, I told you guys, DAZN, I don't know, I just feel like they have people in there with money, but they're not really diehard boxing fans, maybe, because the stuff don't even make sense. Listen, I'm gonna say this again: the pay-per-view is dead tagline makes no fucking sense. Here's why: we are boxing fans. Most people, unless you work for one of these companies, like employed by them, we just want to see great fights, right? So if there's a fight that we like, nobody's going to say, hey, I already have a DAZN subscription, so I'm not watching this Showtime or Fox pay-per-view or Top Rank pay-per-view, but I love the fight. If you like let's say Top Rank does ESPN pay-per-view Lomachenko versus Teofimo, and Teofimo is a champion by that time, and Loma's a champion. If you like that fight, then you like the fight. You're going to buy it. Or let's say Top Rank worked with Heyman, and then they made Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia. If you like the fight, you're going to buy it. Or if they do Danny Garcia and Mikey Garcia. You get what I'm saying? Nobody's going to be like, oh, I have a monthly subscription to DAZN, so I won't order Danny Garcia versus Mikey Garcia. So it's really not pay-per-view is dead and just get DAZN, because DAZN is not Walmart. It's not a one-stop shop. Walmart is a one-stop shop for the most part. You can go to Walmart, you can get Similac, you can get diapers, you can get boys' clothes, men's clothes, women's clothes, bras. They have a grocery store section. They have home furnishing. They have shit for your bathroom. They have an automotive section. They have electronics and movies and video games. It's a one-stop shop. DAZN doesn't satisfy every fucking need because they don't have the roster to. So the pay-per-view is dead sounds bogus as hell because you don't have enough content and internal matchups to be a one-stop shop where someone's like, oh, you know what? I don't even have to watch these PPC fights. I don't have to watch these ESPN fights because DAZN's taking care of all of my needs. It's not set up like that. Someone said DAZN is the dollar store. Hey, y'all tried it. We are going to have like 6 or 7 pay-per-views before this year is out, and they still trying to say pay-per-views. This shit is funny. I can't remember a year where we had as many pay-per-views. Exactly. And then the UFC's doing pay-per-view. That's what wrestling's doing pay-per-views. They try to put Tiger Woods on pay-per-view on HBO. So you can't. It just sounds corny. You know. It sounds corny. It really does. You know, pay-per-view is dead, but you're not doing nothing to pay-per-view. Okay, save my pocketbooks. Kill a pay-per-view. You haven't done that. That's like, okay, what if I was what if I was an exterminator? I was an Orkin Man or some shit. And then you call me over to your house, you call my company, and I'm like, yeah, I'm ego exterminator, the Orkin Man and shit. And you're like, oh yeah, I have roaches. They're all in here. And I said, okay, everyone needs to leave the house. And I do my spray and like my little insect bombs and stuff. And then I say, y'all can come back in 12 hours. And then you come back and the roaches is still there. The roaches, it looks like there's more roaches and shit. And I'm like, yep, I just rid you of your infestation. I got rid of the termites, the roaches, and all the ants. And then you get back 12 hours later after I exterminated, and you see all the same roaches. And I'm like, oh, roaches are dead. Who is going to believe me? So I just keep saying roaches are dead, but you're looking at them. You see how stupid that sounds? You see how stupid that sounds? I'm like, why have the hassle of insects? Roaches are dead, but I'm still seeing the roaches. Then they're not dead. Yeah, exactly. And they putting smack and shit on Cassidy versus Goods on pay-per-view, and you trying to tell me pay-per-view's dead. Come on, man. They just did Loaded Lux and A-Verb and Vegan Verb and shit on pay-per-view. They should have abandoned that. It sounds horrible, man. So, yeah, man. It's honestly, to be honest, DAZN had a better chance of, if they worked with Al Heyman, that would have been their best bet. They hooked up with 2 promoters that didn't have big American stables. How do you think that was gonna work? If you don't have a big American, Golden Boy has Canelo. Now, okay, who does Golden Boy have? That's star power in America, has a profile ready to go. They got Canelo and Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia is still very young, so that he's learning. So they're not at the spot where they're putting him in with deadly fights like that. Name someone else outside of Canelo and Ryan Garcia that are big American stars ready to go. And please don't say Virgil Ortiz, because he's a good fighter. I'm not talking about good fighters. I'm talking about good fighters that are ready to go. Like, look, like clockwork. So you believe Virgil Ortiz Jr. is a star right now? Look, like clockwork. I'm too smart for this. I already know what y'all gonna say. So you believe, you honest in your heart of all hearts, you think, I'm not talking about who's a good fighter or who you're checking for. I'm talking about a star. You really think Virgil Ortiz Jr. is ready for the limelight? Okay, block that guy. No, we're not playing these games. All you gotta do is keep it real. You failed. Bro, we're not, you talking about totally different things. I'm not talking about if he's a good fighter. I'm talking about he's been marketed and he's known. Like, can he headline his own pay-per-view? Mr. Bro Nature, what's up? Yeah, man. And then Matchroom, they're Eddie Hearn's taking a lot of L's recently. He's taking a lot of L's. A lot. Ted Cheeseman, Sam Egington. The perception that Taylor really lost her last fight. Josh Kelly. Some people think well, either way, he didn't look great, but a lot of people thought he lost. Some people, you know, Josh Kelly. Danny Jacobs just lost to Canelo. Andy Corolla got rolled over by Lomachenko, and then Bob Arum's putting his fighter that's very good, Lomachenko, in with another Eddie Hearn fighter that's probably scheduled to lose. You know, unless you guys think Luke Campbell will beat Lomachenko, I would favor Loma. So Loma's gonna run through two Eddie Hearn fighters of the year, most likely. We'll wait and see how it plays out, but I would pick Lomachenko over Luke Campbell. So Loma ran through two Eddie Hearn fighters. Oscar Rivas is a difficult fight for Dillian White. You know, Maurice Hooker is an Eddie Hearn fighter in a difficult fight with Jose Ramirez. I mean, all Eddie's people have either lost recently. Joshua, obviously, that's a big one. They either lost or they're in fights that they could definitely lose. Dangerous fights, basically. Andrade, Selesky's good. I wouldn't. I would favor Andrade over Selesky, but you know, Selesky can make you look not as good as you are. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, Ego. They trying to make a major impact in the U.S., but they partner up with a guy in the U.K. that knows nothing about the U.K. Oh my God, ringside reporter is frying all of y'all. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense, man. Like, he didn't even Eddie Hearn. You entrusted. See that Eddie Hearn has the mouthpiece and you know blue eyes. They think he's gonna be able to get it done. You know, so they just naturally have faith. Like if Eddie Hearn had gold ones and dreadlocks in, they probably wouldn't just have faith that he was gonna be able to sign everybody up and just, oh yeah, yeah. Like take the keys to my Beamer, Eddie. They gave Eddie the keys to the Beamer and let him drive, and look where he's driving it, bro. I know he has to be kicking himself, bro. He put Joshua in with a non-matchroom fighter that fucking beat Joshua. Do you listen to me? Do you understand how many matchroom heavyweights that they had that they could have put in there that have ties to Eddie Hearn? So even if Joshua lost, it would still hurt his stock, but he would have kept the belt in, you know, within the DAZN matchroom realm. This was the this is the worst thing that could have happened. This is like you know the dude what's his name, Ebony Maw from Avengers. It was Thanos' personal assistant, the sorcerer. That's like me having the last soul stone that Thanos needs for the Infinity Glove, and then Ebony Maw has a disguise, and I think it's Captain America, and then it's like some movie shit, and then I give the last soul stone, and it's really Ebony Maw, and he just run off. Ah, ha 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 ha. Thanos is gonna be so happy with me. Ha 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 ha. You know, I just I'm supposed to be protecting the Infinity Stone, the Soul Stone, and I give it to Ebony Maw, who's working with Thanos, and he just run off. Ha 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 ha. So now Thanos, Al Heyman is Thanos. Thanos got all the fucking heavyweight belts in this modern era of boxing. Horrible. Horrible. They let Andy Ruiz eat a Snicker and then come in and fuck the game up and fuck the money up. Like I said, Eddie Hearn has Philip Ergovich, Dillian White, Usyk, and Michael Hunter. I bet you he's kicking himself that he didn't put Michael Hunter in there. Because, like I said, worst case scenario, Michael Hunter beats Joshua. It's no different than Andy Ruiz beating him. But would Michael Hunter have stopped Joshua? But either way, you still have options on Michael Hunter. So you would at least had the belts in-house still. This man let Al Heyman send a silent assassin. And then what makes it worse is Andy Ruiz, the perception of him. All you see is a picture of muscle-bound dude with traps and back muscles getting knocked out like by a guy who doesn't look, he looks rotund and shit. That's just the imagery is crazy. That's why it went so viral. Joshua getting knocked out got 11 million views on DAZN's channel, bro. One of the videos got 11 million views. But it's not for some cool shit. So Andy Ruiz is out here doing it for La Raza. You know what I'm saying? It's just the worst. It's the worst. It's literally, in my opinion, it's the worst. If he would have got knocked out by Wilder actually looks like, if I were to just see Wilder, like he looked kind of big versus Brazil when I was at Fight Week. I'm like, okay. So the perception wouldn't have been the same. Even if Wilder stretched him, the perception wouldn't have looked crazy. Or Dillian White. Dillian White's a big dude. I seen him. He fought in America on the Terrence Crawford card for Top Rank. He looks like a heavyweight. He about 6'4", in shape, 2-something. So it would have looked more natural. Andy Ruiz looks short and like kind of stout. That's why, like, you see it. If Wilder would have knocked out Joshua, nobody would be making memes like, oh, I'm never going to the gym. I'm giving up my gym membership. I'm never working on my core again. They did that because of, the body type of Andy Ruiz. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't have been putting the memes if Wilder did it because he got abs and, he don't look like that. They let Al Heyman sneak that silent assassin up in there. He said, I bet AJ hates seeing Snickers bars now. Wow. Y'all tried it. This has been disastrous. This is disaster. And then I heard it was Eddie Hearn's birthday the other day, like a couple days after this. So one of the worst times for a rematch room, and then your birthday was right after that. Like I said, even if he would have hypothetically lost to Michael Hunter, the belts would have still been in Matchroom's grasp. That's why he's sweating bullets. And then the worst part about it is he already has fights set up where the same thing could happen. Oscar Rivas is a top-ranked guy, and so is Jose Ramirez. They both have a shot to beat their Matchroom opponents. Those are just good fights. But yeah, Andy Ruiz, he really mixed this up, or shook things up. It's like one of those snow globes. Andy Ruiz went like this, like fuck that, shook everything up. But I really blame Eddie Hearn because I feel Eddie Hearn's he tried to manipulate the board. He thought he could play the numbers game and he can like create this scientific you know, spreadsheet and chronological order of fights that he could manipulate and then stall out certain fights and then get to the fights he wanted when he wanted to or when he felt Joshua was ready. Like, for example, Dillian White, he should have been given the fight before Gerald Miller. And I always told you guys that. Dillian White had a stronger 2018 with the names he beat than Gerald Miller. But they gave it to Gerald Miller. That was the beginning of the end because ultimately that would be the guy that failed a drug test. It's about life in the business world and shit. It's about what you can produce. It's about what you can produce. Yeah, I would have much rather if I was Eddie Hearn, I would have much rather AJ lost to Dillian White. Cause then you would have kept options on Dillian White. You've been working with him, he stayed with you. Yeah, this is just bad, man. And they sending AJ right back in there. This is bad. Anthony Joshua, like I'm gonna show you. Oh, look, bro, this is bad. Why is he working out doing boxing shit? I do not like this at all. This man is back in the gym boxing. Like it's insane. Like for one, Eddie Hearn said the rematch is in negotiations. For two, he said it would be for November, December. Why on earth? Who like I'm really questioning like who are the people in Joshua's team for real? Who is in the team? Like who is on his team? Like it seems like how is it that they say I hate Joshua, but I have more compassion and his best interest at heart than his own team. Why is he working out, man? The man had a concussion. Why is he? Oh, I met with Rob McCracken and AJ, and we're doing the rematch. Why are you guys meeting for the rematch 2 days after the fight? This is a clear indication they don't give a fuck, bro. The man had a concussion. Like, why is he having? Why is he being? Why is he having to meet with to discuss something? The depth of it. You get what I'm saying? Like a rematch and like, oh yeah, what are you guys thinking? Like, can the man chill out? That's just it's crazy. And then he's in the gym. I see, like I understand. I'm a competitive person. I don't like to lose. I don't like to lose at all. I don't like losing. So I get that. I get that. Like but you have to strategize. Life is about strategizing. We all take L's in some form or fashion. They get punched in the face. But we all have taken L's. But see, my thing is, you got to be cerebral about it, and you got to know yourself. There's nothing you could do to get the belts back right now. So just chill. Like you know what I'm saying? Spend time with your kids and spend time with your family. Deal with this concussion shit. How are you doing pads and shit? You get what I'm saying? Like, and there's people holding the pads for you. It's really weird. I know people that been knocked out and shit, like fighters that have been knocked out. They are not at the gym after they do these fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll go to their gym and they got knocked out. You know, everyone knows they got knocked out on the card. They don't show up, a week later and they're already back in the gym. What is the point? What is the point? Like, you need to be rested, clear headed. There's nothing you can do. The belts are gone. There's nothing you can do until the rematch. Like, you need to regroup. That's basically what I'm saying. You need to regroup and come to your senses, get your bearings back. You just gotta know. I don't know. You gotta know yourself, and I don't think that's smart. That no one in this team is advising him. Hey, take the day off. Stay out the gym. He just flew back to the UK, and he's already back in the UK gym. That's weird. So he was staying in New York for whatever reason, popping a wheelie. And then he just went back to the UK and he's already back in the gym trying to work out. Like, I don't know. I know different people handle stuff differently, but there should be some kind of concussion protocol or, I don't know. That's like coming back from war. You did a tour in war, like in Iraq or something, and you come back and then you already trying to do like major stuff, and you have PTSD or some shit. It's just weird. And it's weird that the UK and the people around them aren't telling him this. Why are you boxing? Like, what month is it? June? It's June. They talking about you not coming back till November, December, and you back in the gym. It's weird. Really weird. And Joshua would be talking about these camps is burning me out. No shit. You doing, 106 week camps. This man doing like 243 to 30. There's 365 days a year, and there's 52 weeks in a year. The motherfucker doing like 48-week camps. Talking about I'm getting fucked up in these camps. Yeah, you doing the 48. First 48. You doing a 48-week camp. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. It's just insane to me. Insane. Look at your boy. Look at your boy Ruiz. They just did this the last couple of days. Look at your boy Ruiz. I know I'm not. I know my shit. TMZ. Andy Ruiz loosens up his belt on modest Mexican grub with mariachis. Look at your man Andy Ruiz. This motherfucker's with his kids and family eating Mexican food. That's not a problem. What's wrong with that picture, bro? Look. Andy Ruiz loosens up his belt on modest Mexican grub with mariachi. Them TMZ reporters done went to the taqueria and captured Andy Ruiz with his family eating, enjoying the mariachi band, and he all smiles, right? Y'all don't know what you're talking about. He can't get too comfortable though. It's June. He's not gonna fight. Why? Okay, nah, bro. I totally disagree. They're negotiating. What the fuck is he got to be? Not. He just fought a week and a half ago. What do you got? These dudes aren't robots. Why would he be up and moving and doing a bunch of bullshit? Thank you. Ask Yar Hussein. These dudes is saying crazy shit. $20 super chat, smash the like button. Y'all know what it is. Why would he be? He just literally just had a fight. It's okay to rest. That rest, R&R, rest and recuperation. You talking about he can't get too comfortable? What are you talking about? He just fought. And Andy Ruiz is not a person who's like body type. Like, it's not like you act like he's at the buffet every day and shit, bro. He's just spending time with his family. That's normal after a tough camp. What's not normal, okay, you guys tell me. So the person who got knocked down 4 times and saying, oh, what did he hit me with? And was concussed and had memory loss, he back in the boxing gym. And then the person who won and is the new champion and recovered extremely well from being hurt, he eating Mexican grub in LA. So y'all have worries about Andy Ruiz needs to be not get comfortable, but you're not worried about Joshua. Bro, the person that got knocked out definitely shouldn't be in the boxing gym training this quick. That man Andy Ruiz is just chilling because his team. Why? That's what you're supposed to do. Your team gotta come up and negotiate the particulars. Okay, Eddie wants in the UK, but we're trying to get in Vegas, or and then the team comes back. What does he got to get in serious camp mode for a fight that's not until November, December? This is what happens. This is why, like, I can vouch from it just from a YouTube perspective. I bust my ass on this YouTube shit. I put out content. I got content for days. But if you do it wrong, then you're going to fucking burn out, You have to give yourself time to, and luckily I've been doing this long enough and I know myself and I know my energy levels, I can handle it. But I have a lot more energy than I would say the average person. I'm an Aries. I always keep it moving. Sometimes like when I finally slow down, like if I go to a movie theater, I might fall asleep in the movie theater because that's the most still I'll be. You know what I'm saying? And then start getting comfortable. This movie theater by the crib, they got the recliner seats. Yeah, his team is negotiating a fight. Why is he gonna? You got to give your time. You don't want to burn out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to the Aries. You don't want to burn out. That's the worst thing. So Andy Ruiz is doing what he's supposed to. Joshua, to me, isn't. He should not be training. Ruiz already knows how to beat AJ. That's a fact. And see, to me, I like the mindset. Andy Ruiz is like, when you know you're good, like he's not in the gym. He's not worried about that. The paparazzi's catching him eating with his family. Joshua posted himself training in the gym. We talking about different things. Why would you post yourself working out? See, you have something to prove. Andy Ruiz, he did the damn thing, so he don't feel like he has nothing to prove. He just has to have a tough camp and train and get ready for the fight. If I just won 3 belts, I would be eating tacos too. That's what I'm saying. These dudes is bugging. There's a thing called peaking too early. Damn, someone got clapped. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've heard pros take 10 days off after a fight. Joshua got dropped 4 times and potentially, no, it's not potentially had a concussion. Eddie Hearn said he had a concussion, said he had memory loss. And then if you go back and listen to the tapes, Frank Bruno posted an extended one. It's pretty scary because Joshua didn't know a lot of stuff. So, yeah, there's no doctor that would tell you to just jump right back into it that quick. And you're not even fighting till November or December. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know who's in Joshua's corner, but the pressure has already started. You can already see it. He's already under pressure because he's posting that he's in the gym and he was just popping a wheelie. Like, I understand wanting to get better and taking it serious now that you know he beat you, but there's a way to go back. Just keep your weight down. You know, you don't have to like abandon everything. You can still eat pretty clean and stuff like that and do your thing, but you working out like you in fight camp. This is why you burn out. I'm telling you. Feeling you have something to prove and you can't get it off your mind. You can't do that. You'll drive yourself. Imagine, put it this way. Imagine a traumatic, say you were with a girl for 10 years and you're dating her, you love her, she broke up with you. You have to find things outside of things that remind you about the relationship, or you'll drive yourself stir crazy. You know, you have to get your mind off it some type of way. AJ doing more fake promotion. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's filming himself like so. It's like he wants people to see, oh, I'm back. You guys look at how I'm not giving up and I'm not letting this deter me. But you don't have to prove nothing. Whatever. I'm saying I just feel like people in his corner should look after him. He should not be. Why wouldn't you want to spend time with your family? Why do you even want to be in the gym right now? You got to give yourself time. I'm telling you. Sometimes we all need a break. Life lesson. You got to burn yourself out. Like right now, I'm ending this stream because I'm going to bed. The vampire stream. I'll be back with some more heat. See, I know my body. I know my mind. I'm not finna burn out and, be like, oh, why the fuck? So I'll holla. We'll talk some more later. Smash the like button. It just shows that Eddie Hearn's camp are scrambling to do damage control in the aftermath. Man, this is embarrassing, bro. All that shit that old media brought up, and it's looking bad. And then Eddie Hearn's trying to spin it like, yeah, I'm glad Joshua lost. I want him to be hungry. You not glad. Stop. I just stop insulting the intelligence. Do you know what I'm saying? Trying to make it like you wanted Joshua to lose. You didn't want him to lose. You scrambling. Then talking about I'm gonna sue the WBC. Who does this? You're gonna sue the WBC? What are you gonna sue? Okay? Tell me the lawsuit. See, listen. I know old media is dead, but I want one of y'all zombies to come back to life. Tell me what Eddie Hearn would sue the WBC for. What is he gonna say? I don't get it. What is he going to sue them for? Somebody explain this to me. Okay, I get you want Dillian White to fight Wilder. He gonna force his fighter to get a belt some kind of way. What are you gonna sue them for? You know how long legal processes take? By the time you sue them, Tyson Fury and Wilder both been in fight 3 times. Like, by the time a legal process actually happens, how are you gonna block the fight? And then the WBC is a private company. It's this is not like I don't know, like a police station or something. This is a private company who they putting up the money for the belt and they working in conjunction with the commissions to put their belts on the line. What are you going to sue them for? Their own belts? Yeah, we wanted a chance. And then the WBC is going to be able to show paperwork in court that they outlined that Dominic Brazil was the mandatory. And that's who he fought. They're talking about Wilder Fury fighting in February. And Eddie Hearn's already anticipating suing them. So Wilder just fought his mandatory May 18th. So he's good until probably around May of next year. A year. So how you going to sue them for fighting each other in February? Wilder just fought his mandatory. So that's what I'm saying. This is pure desperation. This is pure desperation. It just sounds horrible. And the thing is, why would you stain your relationship with the WBC by threatening them? For me, I feel like I don't make petty threats. Like, if you gonna do it, do it. Like, if you say you're gonna sue him, just run that paperwork. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't tell me. Why you gonna tell? That's weak. To me, that's weak. If someone said, "Oh, I'm gonna sue your ass," just do it. Subpoena me. You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna tell me you gonna do it in advance for? Yeah, let's go. Let's run it. You know, that doesn't put out. You know, that's desperation, man. That's the only thing I can think of. It's just the only thing I can think of. I don't understand what you think you're gonna gain from that. You're gonna threaten the WBC with their own belt. I'm gonna sue your ass. It's like a spoiled kid or something. And then now you're hurting your relationship with the WBC. I would imagine. Who wants to get threatened? Yeah, give Dillian White the Wilder fight, or I'm gonna sue your ass. Fucking Permit Patty snitching. Eddie 6ix9ine snitching. Yeah, Heyman must be destroying him if he's doing all that, bro. You trying to sue belt people, like belt companies, and then to be honest, Dillian White coming through the Oscar Rivas fight, that's not a guarantee. So why are you even looking past that? Bro, Al Heyman is dogging him, bro. Dogging him. Wilder has to get past Luis Ortiz. Tyson Fury got to get past Tom Schwartz and probably one or two more tune-ups. Dillian White got to get past Oscar Rivas, and you're talking about, I'm a sue. Horrible. There's a lot that has to happen before we even get to the Wilder Fury rematch. And you're already anticipating, so I know he must be sweating bullets. That's because, like I said, DAZN gave him the keys to the BMW, and he bringing it back with no gas. You know? And DAZN gave him some money, and he said he was going to double it or triple it. And DAZN haven't had no big fights except for Canelo fights that had nothing to do with Eddie Hearn, really. Because it was, you know, he had Jacobs, but we all know Canelo's the A-side in that equation. So that's why that happened. That's my time, people. The Vampire Stream. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back. You know, this shit don't stop. Shout out to Askier Hussein for the super chats. The Vampire Stream. We were.